So if you clicked on this video, I'm assuming you're wanting to grow your YouTube channel. Maybe you're just starting out, or maybe you're in a little bit of a rut and you need some help, some advice, some tips to get you over that line and reach your goal. Now, I'm not saying in this video that I know more than anyone else, but what I do know is the journey I took and the experiences and failures and successes I had when growing this YouTube channel. I did this all within 6 months. Now, I started taking YouTube seriously in January of 2023. I did start posting in October, November time, but that was just me kind of feeling it out and seeing if it was something I could do. But in the Christmas period, I decided to take on the challenge of growing my YouTube channel and getting it up to at least 1,000 subs and progressing in this realm. So in this video, I have curated 10 tips that I'd like to share with you that might give you an edge, a bit of motivation, a tip or advice, whatever, to get you on your way to reaching that 1,000 subscriber mark. If you are unaware why 1,000 subscribers is important, it is because if you want to be part of the YouTube partnership program, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 public watch hours. What this all really means is so that you can be monetized and can start making money from your YouTube videos through AdSense. Now, FYI, I'm not fully monetized yet. I still have a few more hours to gain, but I'm nearing that point, and when I do, I will definitely keep you updated and talk about that on this channel, because YouTube growth and content creation in all this realm is something that I'm very interested in and I'd like to talk more about on this channel, other than what I already talk about, which is gear. But let's dive in and talk about the 10 tips that I'm going to share with you, and stick around to the end because I'm going to tell you the things that I wish I knew when I first started doing this. If I knew that from the beginning, then I would definitely have taken some different routes along my way. So the first major tip that I'd like to share with you is set a goal and write it down. A lot of people set goals, and that's great, but they don't write them down, and they also don't write down when they want to achieve them. So what I did was I wrote down 1,000 subscribers by June 2023. Psychologically and subconsciously, that date was set in my mind, and every day I woke up and I had written on my whiteboard, because I think it's really important that you see it every day, so it reminds you, this is something that I'm working towards, this is something I want to achieve. When you have that in plain sight and it's staring at you every day next to your desk, and you're working away and you forget what you're trying to do, this is your North Star, you know, the goal that you're trying to reach. I think it's pretty monumental, and I think is a really big part of trying to achieve something. This can apply to any career. This doesn't just apply to filmmakers and photographers. All of these tips are aimed at people who are wanting to gain 1,000 subs, and I think the process is the same for most. So set your target. If you want an attainable, achievable goal, write down 6 months to 1 year, whatever you think is achievable for you, and write a date next to what you want to achieve. It could be 10,000 subs, but write down the date and write that clear as you can and put it somewhere you see it every day. Every time I've done this, 9 times out of 10, I have achieved that goal. I'm not a particularly driven person. I do have goals in life, and when I do set my mind to something, I know that writing it down and having it face me every day is a big factor in whether I will achieve it or not. So my second tip, which is probably talked a lot about in similar videos to this, but it is find your niche. Now, my niche is filmmaking and photography, which actually is kind of broad. Once you find the thing that you love talking about and can speak fluently in, find out how you can niche down a little bit further. With my channel is I talk about Fujifilm gear and how I produce photography and filmmaking with the gear, using different lenses, different filters, different X, Y, and Z. That is my channel. That is what I love talking about. That is my passion, and it oozes out of me when I am talking about this subject. So make it something that you're fully interested in. My other passion is growth, self-growth, and as you can see, this is something I really love talking about. So find your niche and niche down. Just go down as far as you can. You won't have to do this forever. Sustain it for a few months, maybe a year, and get that growth you want. So then you can find other things that you want to talk about. You won't have to do this forever, but it will help. That is what your channel is, and that is what you talk about. If you want to have another channel, keep it separate. For example, if you're a cooking channel and you suddenly talking about sports, you're going to alienate that audience that you've just grown through your cooking videos. So keep it relevant, keep it all in the same kind of realm. Tip number 3 is an obvious one, but you need to be consistent. You need to turn up for yourself, and you need to be making this a fixture in your day-to-day life. I didn't know how much it would consume me, but I think about YouTube videos pretty much every day. I'm thinking about new ideas, new thumbnails, new ways of making content, and actually sometimes it can be stressful and it can definitely be overwhelming, but most of the time I'm excited, I get out of bed and I have this rejuvenation to make and create content. I love what I do, and it has definitely made me a better filmmaker and photographer because I'm constantly shooting, I'm constantly learning, and by being consistent I have definitely seen growth, not just on this channel but within myself as well. So being consistent and turning up for yourself on a regular basis is key to growing a YouTube channel. The 4th tip I'm going to share with you is to utilize YouTube Shorts. And this one is so easy to do, and I think a lot of people don't cover it, which they should, because there's a different audience going on in the shorts. Some people just use YouTube like they do for Instagram, like Reels, is they just use short form content. There's a whole new audience that you can invite into your world by just creating smaller videos for that platform. And it's really easy to utilize shorts by just taking one of your long form videos and cutting up some of the most interesting sections of that video and using it for your short form content. You'll be able to get a following from your YouTube Shorts by just posting regularly, and it's easy, it's not too hard. For it to be a short, it needs to be under a minute long. This is definitely a trick you could be missing, and I do think it is an important factor within YouTube and how to grow your channel. The 5th tip I'd like to share with you is the triad. I call this the triad because I can't remember what it's called, but I learned it from vidIQ. Before ever putting out a video, you want to be thinking about 3 things. You want to write your title first. You need to be having that in mind. You need to write that down. What is the video that you're going to make? What is it about? Write the title. The second thing then I do is I create the thumbnail, and then the third thing I do is I create the intro. If you can get those 3 things correct, you can really grab your audience, and that is basically getting something that is clickbaitable. If you can perfect these 3 things, which is something I've been trying to do, you'll see a bigger spike in people coming to your video and hopefully staying longer. Those first 30 seconds usually make the difference of whether someone's going to stick around longer or not. My advice to you is to put a great deal of thought into these 3 things. Obviously the video itself needs to be quality, but these 3 things are stand out for me and should be given a lot of attention. Okay, so the 6th tip I'm going to share with you is get yourself a system. What I mean by that is have a process of how you shoot, a process of how do you edit, a process of how you color grade, a process of how you do your audio, a process of X, Y, and Z. There are a number of things, even to the fact like you have a file. You call the file how I reached 1,000 subs in 6 months. Then you go into that file. There are your footage, there's your thumbnail, there are your raws. Have a system where you know where everything is. It's locked in and you'll always be able to find it if you ever need to come back to it. Things like that is so helpful And the sooner you start doing that, rather than leaving it a mess on your desktop, the better. I promise you, having a system and some sort of methodical way of thinking through this is going to save you so many hours, so much time. And when you go back, 6 months later, and you need to look and find that video that you made because you need to reference it, you'll be able to find it in a split second. If you don't, I swear that your life is going to be so much harder, and content creation in general going forward is going to be hell. So find a system. Even when it comes to editing, find a way where you've got all your presets, all your things saved. Same with thumbnails, always use the same font, so you're not always having to kind of think, oh, how can I be more creative this way? It almost needs to be like branding. This is your font, this is your colors, this is the way it looks, this is the setup. Don't get too creative. As soon as you do that, you sort of start losing yourself, and your channel starts getting lost with you as well. So having a system, having some sort of idea of what you're doing every time helps. Don't get too rigid in it, because you are human after all, and creativity needs to flow. And you can see, if you look at my channel, I've definitely experimented, and this is something I've learned, something I wish I knew again right from the beginning. But a system is definitely a good thing. Number 7, you are going to have to set aside a hell of a lot of time. Your social life might take a hit. Your family time, your relationship time, you're really going to have to kind of be careful with how you divide your time up. So get a schedule. Maybe you get up early on a Sunday morning and you go shoot all your content then, and then you're free for the rest of the day, and you can edit on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Have a schedule of when you're going to shoot and when you're going to edit. This is going to free you up so much, because you'll treat it like a job. And that's something that obviously I don't want to say, but if you love it that much, it won't feel like a job. But if you just do it whenever you're free, or that was how I used to, oh, I'm free now, I'll go make a video, or I've got an idea, I'll go make a video. And I still, actually, if I'm honest, I sometimes do this, and this is one that I need to hear the most, because my time is precious to me, as it is to everyone else. And I do think if you can make sure that you schedule yourself better, you will find that there'll be better progress. You'll see growth, you'll see a change in everything you do. It's a bit like having a system. You kind of do have to treat this a bit like a job. If your goal is to reach 1,000 subs and more and get monetized and all those things, you do have to treat it seriously. My next tip is get a script. Now, this may sound rich coming from me, because I don't write a script. However, I do have bullet points. I have, a pen and paper here, and I have bullet pointed all of my notes, everything I want to say, because I am one of those people that find that if I find my flow state, I can talk better, it's more engaging and it's less robotic. So I don't like to have a script, but if you are one of those people, I do highly encourage it. I mean, I've spoke to loads of people who do script all their videos out, and that's great. But if you're like me, bullet point things and have certain topics you want to cover. I've made videos where I'm like, oh God, I didn't say that thing. And it's so disappointing, and you feel like you've done such a good job, but you feel like you didn't cover something, and X, Y, and Z. And I'm probably, I'm probably going to do it in this video. I'll be like, watch back. But I have made bullet points, and hopefully I've covered everything I want to cover. So make sure you do cover those points, because I do think it's pretty bog standard stuff anyway. You should know this, but if you're starting out, definitely make a point of writing a script. It's definitely going to help. Okay, the next tip is try not to deviate from what your channel is about. I've done this a couple of times. I've done it with film photography, and I saw very little growth and views on that video. I made one about a bag that I'd made 3 bag videos almost in a row once. That wasn't a good idea. Don't deviate from what it is that your channel is about, especially in the beginning. You can when you've got like 1 million followers and, you know, people love you and you're someone special, but until that time, I do think you need to stick to your channel. Don't deviate from the start, because what will happen is you'll just get discouraged, and it will be really upsetting, I think, and, you know, a testament to all the hard work that you've put in, and you just kind of like, oh, I mean, that's how I felt. I felt really discouraged when I felt a really good video about, I think it was a video called, you know, the 2 main lessons I learned from film photography, something like that. I was really discouraged because no one watched that video. I mean, go watch it. I really like it, but no one really kind of engaged. My channel isn't about film photography. My channel is about my use of my Fujifilm gear, the X-H2S, the X Pro 3. So it was pretty discouraged. So that's something I'd love to make sure that it doesn't happen to anyone else. Don't get discouraged like me, and stick to your topics. Stick to, just at the beginning, as I always say, you know, you'll be able to talk about those things later on, but just at the moment, stick to your topic. Okay, so my last tip is keep it fun. Don't forget, you're talking about your passion, your love. As soon as you find it uninspiring and it's hard work and you hate it, then it is not fun. Then you're gonna burn out, because you're going to be making it because you feel like you have to, and then it feels like a job, and then everyone will see that you're not enjoying it. And don't worry, I've experienced burnout with this already, but my passion still overflows at the moment, and I still love making YouTube videos. Burnout is inevitable with most creatives because we all get to some sort of writer's block, as they call it. But in order to keep it fun, you need to keep it fresh, and to keep it fresh, you got to enjoy it. And so if you aren't enjoying it and you're just doing this to get monetization and get paid, then I'm sorry to tell you, this probably is going to be short-lived. So love what you do before, you know, you're thinking about, you know, shooting for the stars. I think that stuff comes later. Okay, so these are things I wish I knew before starting the channel. The first thing is, don't worry about subscribers. Actually, the harder thing you need to maybe worry a little bit more about is the watch time. How many public watch hours you're getting, especially if you're thinking about monetizing. If you have a great idea and you make a quick video which is 2-3 minutes long, if 1,000 people watch that watch time hour is not going to get up very far, and it is the hardest thing to grow. Your goal is to get monetization. Remember that if you've got a great idea, expand on it as much as you can. Don't dribble on for hours, because no one will watch that either, but make sure that you're fully expanded the thought, the idea, the great idea that you've come up with, you know, that you think, oh, I'm going to make a video about this. Make sure you expand it to a good length so that when people turn up, they're going to stick around for longer and hopefully give you the watch time hours that you need to get that monetization. Another thing I wish I knew was audio. Audio is so important. I'm going to play you a clip now from something I did earlier, and I can't even bear to listen to it, but you know. Hello everyone, so this is my first POV street photography session. Yeah, that was from, you know, a windy balcony in London. Why I decided to use it, why didn't I do a voiceover, is beyond me, but I wanted to show my face. And, you know, it might not annoy some people, but audio is so important. It's more important than visuals. It sounds weird coming from someone who is into photography and filmmaking, but audio is number one. So make sure you got good, clear audio. Another thing I wish I knew sooner, and it's something I'm still working on, but collaborate. Start collaborating with more people sooner. This will definitely help grow your channel more, and it will inspire you more. You'll be working with people who are doing the same thing as you are, and you'll feel like you're growing together, and you'll also start building community together, and it will feed in one into the other. I just think not enough people do this. I don't do it enough, and I really do think that collaboration is the key to keeping it fresh. You know, there's people like Peter McKinnon and Matty Hapoya. Those guys grew each other's channels undoubtedly by working with each other. They're both sitting on 2 million, 1 million, I don't know, but they've both got over 1 million subscribers, and I'm pretty sure it helps the fact that they feed into one another and they're sort of become best mates. Collaboration is definitely the way to go when it comes to making content. And the last thing is, turn up for yourself. Treat yourself like a client. I am a freelance filmmaker and photographer, and some of the stuff I've put out for myself, I would never deliver to a client. So make sure you turn up for yourself. I maybe was a bit embarrassed. Maybe I was just like, that will do. You know, I don't know really what I was thinking at the beginning with some of my videos, but it really is important that you turn up for yourself. Treat yourself like you're one of the most important things when you're doing this. Take it seriously. Give yourself every best chance of succeeding in this. When you do that, you're definitely going to find more growth. You're definitely going to feel more confident in what you do. And I think people are going to see that within your work. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's anything in it that you thought you'd agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Just want to chat, want to collab, put it in the comments. You know, you can reach me on Instagram as well. Everything's linked in the description. Got a website as well. If you want to talk to me, ask questions. I love building this community. I love this YouTube journey. So if you want to reach out, do so. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm still got goals. You know, I still want to build this channel, build this community. So I'm really appreciative to everyone who has subscribed. And if you're watching, I'm appreciative just for you sharing your time with me. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.